Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is December the 8th, 2024. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Last night was kind of funky, at least in terms of not being bad, but I got so sleepy, like right around 9 o'clock, and I like hatched a plan. I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna actually succumb to the fatigue. I'm gonna go to sleep, and then I'm gonna wake up, and I know it's gonna be in like the middle of the night, and I'm gonna be productive. That was my plan. I felt like I was like doing like some inception shit on myself. I don't know why, but it felt like the only thing I could really do. Otherwise, I was like, I'll drink a bunch of energy drinks and try to stay up, which almost never works. So I try the plan out. I wake up around 4 in the morning, and I'm like, okay, let's get up. So I got up and I cleaned my bathroom a little bit. Then did some other little around the house things. Got everything done and played on my game a little bit. And I was like, all right, we did it. Then I tried to go to sleep and I was kind of like half in, half out, but enough to say I slept for like maybe an hour or so. And then got up and went to the grocery store. I don't know why I said grocery store like that. But, overall, I feel like I got in at a good time, about 9 o'clock. I think getting there at around 8, like right around opening, is best time. There's no one there. There's like much less friction getting through the store. That's optimal. I will say, because I think I'm going to try to experiment maybe a little bit this week, my grocery bill was a bit higher than I liked. But overall, we live and hopefully we grub. So yeah, overall, we're having a good day. Workout went great. I will say I'm having a bit of a wrist issue, but nothing a little bit of Tylenol hasn't fixed. So we're good there. But yeah, so I mean, we're all caught up on my Joneses. You're up to date. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and do our startup and we can go ahead and get into it. Oh, and then the Red Bull update, because I feel like that's like a thing now. It's its own little corner. I tried the tropical one, the yellow edition. Gotta say, that one was kind of mid. Um, it just kind of tastes like armpit, which, look, I'm an IPA drinker, so I'm used to that. I understand the vibe that, like, that's kind of a flavor note that you want to hit, but it wasn't doing anything other than that. And I was like, okay, it's fine. Like, I drank it, no worries. Still better than the OG, but definitely not my favorite. Probably not going to pick that one up again. But yeah, let's go ahead and continue with that startup. Actually, you know what I missed? Food corner. My gosh. Food corner was kind of fun. Um, I made a waffle and I made chicken and waffles with some fries. The fries were rally fries out of the bag, so I love that. That was yummy. And then I didn't have bacon, and I really wanted a cheeseburger, so I just made a cheeseburger, and it was really good. It all came together. It was nice. So yeah, there we go. Now we're fully caught up. You got all the details. All right, we got an update out of Syria from ABC News. Syria's Assad resigns and leaves the country after stunning rebel blitz, Russia says. In a stunning turn, the regime of Syrian President Bashar al Assad appears to have fallen after rebels advanced into the capital Damascus, catching government forces by surprise 10 days after a lightning advance by insurgents first began. Early Sunday morning, local time, the rebel military operations command for, excuse me, the Islamist Hayat Tahrir al-Sham group, or HTS, claimed the president was no longer in the capital, writing, "We declare the city of Damascus free of the tyrant Bashar al-Assad." Now, it's believed that him and his family have landed safely in Russia. At least I read like a quick update from another site. So he's definitely out, which is good riddance. But the Russian Foreign Ministry said Sunday morning in a Sunday morning statement that Syrian Bashar al-Assad decided to leave the presidential post and left the country, giving instructions to transfer power peacefully. Russia and Iran were the two most important foreign backers backers of Assad's government. Assad's whereabouts remain unknown, at least as of them writing it. The collapse of Assad's government ends a 24-year reign, the president having succeeded his father Hafez al-Assad in 2000. The Assad family had ruled Syria since 1971. And I mean, this dude had ruled with an iron fist. I know this is a guy who's not going to be missed by anyone. It's just, I think it's fearful optimism is now in the room, I think. I think people are definitely scared about how HTS is going to govern, how they're going to be a part of, this whole process from here on out, what's going to happen next. Let's see. I do want to pull a little bit here. Let me scroll ahead. Why can't I find what I'm saying? Oh, there's a little bit from Trump here talking. President-elect Donald Trump, meanwhile, said in a post to True Social early Sunday, that Assad is gone and has fled the country, and that Russia was no longer interested in protecting him any longer. There was another quote from him I think I'll try to get to in a second. Oh, here we go. I'm sorry. I was trying to find this thing. It was kind of buried here. There's a lot of details. HTS is led by Abu Muhammad al-Jolani, who in recent days has been trying to distance himself from his jihadi past. Jolani was born in Saudi Arabia to Syrian parents from the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights and raised in Damascus. Jolani said in an interview with PBS in 2021 that he had fought for al-Qaeda in Iraq during the American occupation. Jolani said he was arrested by American forces and held for more than 5 years in several detention facilities, including the infamous Abu Ghraib and Camp Bucca prisons. But yeah, I mean, like I said in the previous episode, we will see how much things have changed for the HTS, as they've kind of progressed through time and now they are where they are. But I think now I can get back to the Trump thing. They go back. Here we go. And we'll close and move on to the next thing with this. Syria is a mess, but is not our friend. And the United States should have done, let me run it back. Syria is a mess, but is not our friend, and the United States should have nothing to do with it. This is not our fight. Let it play out. Do not get involved, which most of that is in bold text. So, you know what? Maybe he's back, y'all. Maybe he really is back. And I will say this is a take that I do kind of fuck with. Like, at least Trump being like more isolationist is something I tend to vibe and rock with a little bit more, because I think the less we meddle with other countries, the better our outlook is and the better we are, off. But, I mean, we'll see. That is always subject to change. Trump is a populist through and through. If people want him to do something, he'll switch it up and make it happen. We'll see. He hates TikTok one day. He loves TikTok the next. You never know with this guy. But that being said, I mean, it's big news. Sorry, I kind of, meandered through it a little bit there. I was trying to get a certain thing and I lost it. But yeah, let's go ahead and hit the next story. Speaking of big comebacks, the Notre Dame is back, baby, from The Guardian. Notre Dame celebrates first mass in 5 years after devastating fire. Parisians, the French, and the world rediscovered the breathtaking beauty of the Notre Dame de Paris Cathedral on Saturday evening, 5 years after it was devastated by fire. The French president, Emmanuel Macron, boo, tomato, led a guest list of international heads of state and other dignitaries, including Donald Trump, the Prince of Wales, politicians and celebrities, in lauding what he described as a triumph of the French nation and raising the monument from the ashes and making his country united and proud. Now, there's a lot of blah, blah, blah here. I kind of just want to riff. I remember being in the break room. I know I kind of say this a lot, but there's always like random moments in time that pop up, and it's like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. And I remember seeing the Notre Dame on fire. And I was like, yo, that's wild. I mean, anyway, let me get my chips. But like that was intense. It's a moment. And, I've been kind of like tracking, listening to the BBC and just here and there, like what was happening with the cathedral, what were they going to do, what directions they were going to take. Like, was this going to be more of a modern remodel? Were they going to stick to tradition? And it seemed like they were going to do the latter, which was stick to tradition, try to keep things as much as they were, and like literally like do the crafting, like the architecture, the way it was done back in the day. And the fact that they were so successful in doing that, I think, is something that's very cool. Like, obviously, if you're not a big religious person, you're not Catholic, whatever, totally, me neither. But I do think that there's a certain kind of art to this. There's a certain kind of like magical history being played out here, where you can now go into the Notre Dame again after these 5 years, and it's restored in the way that it might. I don't want to say this because I'm sure I'm off base, but it's like in the way that it might have looked back then. And like, I don't know, once someone sold it to me that way, I was like, damn, that does sound really fucking cool. There might have been a phase 2 where they were talking about maybe even trying to like spin this off as a museum so that they could like get money, and like wouldn't that be the way? But I think people shot that down. I think overall it's like, no, this is a church, or this is a church, whatever, it's a cathedral, you're supposed to come here to worship, so it should be there for that. And plus, I mean, they come in to pay their little monies anyway, right? They got to do that shit for Christmas and Easter anyway. You're gonna get them one way. So yeah, Macron led a speech, boo, whatever. Trump was there. Jill Biden showed. I don't know if Joe did. Maybe he's at home. I don't know where he's at right now. I'm losing track, and he's running out of time. Speaking of Joe, since I did just mention the Bidens, we know he pardoned his big dick son. He's good. He's blanketed. There's been a little bit more talk that he might extend the pardon shit to some staff, but we don't know. Or like, people who are critical of Trump just because, he's probably going to go on a spree trying to get whoever he can. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, I know. I thought the whole thing with Notre Dame was cool. If I had the means, maybe I would go to that just to check it out. Just to see what's up. See what these pillars look like, what this structure look like. I don't know. I don't know shit about architecture, but it seems cool. Seems like a vibe. But anyway, let's close out. I wanted to try to keep this short, and I just kind of started rambling and ranting. But let's take it to Ghana. I know it's been more or less an international episode, besides me ranting about Trump and Joe Biden. Joe Byron. But yeah, let me go ahead and take my last break, and we'll go ahead and close it out. From Reuters. Ghana's former president wins election. Ghana's former president, John Dramani Mahama, has staged a political comeback by winning the West African nation's presidential election after his rival vice president, Mahamadou Bouima, conceded defeat on Sunday. The result of Ghana's general election is another blow to a ruling party in a region where voters hit by economic hardship, high inflation, and local currency depreciation, I'm about to say deprecation, have caused upsets as they seek changes in leadership. Mahama, 66, who served as Ghana's president from 2012 to 2016, framed Muima as representing a continuation of the policies that led to Ghana's worst economic crisis in generations. The world's second biggest coca grower and major gold producing nation reached a deal with the International Monetary Fund last year for a $3 billion bailout, after it defaulted on most of its international debt. So definitely a lot of economic upheaval going on in the country. So, we'll see if this is going to be a good thing with Mahama coming back into power. See if that's going to be worth. I'll try to keep you posted there. But yeah, that's, I think, more or less it for me. It's a short episode, and I feel like I did kind of bungle a little bit at the beginning in terms of just with Syria. So just doubling back to that, it is interesting. I was expecting something to happen because I was like hearing like, oh yeah, Like the U.S. is saying it's probably going to, like, the Assad, regime's going to fall in days, and then they were encircling Damascus, and then to wake up and be like, damn, they just took Damascus. It's just over now. That's a crazy feeling. That's wild, and I definitely, it's one of those moments, like kind of when fucking Rumsfeld died, and shit with October 7th, like, just all these moments, good, bad, otherwise, like, we are living in crazy ass fucking times, y'all. And that's another reason why I started this shit, continued this shit, because, like, these are important. And, like, I know for me, like, I hopefully one day when I get older, I want to go back to these moments that I've talked about and be like, damn, that was a crazy time. And then, pine over what's come of this, where are we, hopefully now in the future, or, I don't know. maybe they cryo freeze me and I'm talking to y'all in like 3099. That'd be crazy. No, I wouldn't want to live that long. Take me out. Y'all know me. I probably wouldn't do well after like 60 something. So, like, chill. Anyway, all right, that's it. That's all I really have. Sorry, I know, a bit of a weird, circuitous episode, but yeah, no shilling. I don't need to do all that. Y'all know where to find me. Y'all know where to get at me. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend, and hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.